It is hot outside. It is 96 degrees. So we were looking for some more summer recipes to try, and we found several that had a theme. And this week's theme is Asian recipes. We're gonna be making 3 different Asian recipes that are perfect for the summer. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. So we're about to get started, and I realized I didn't tell you what we're having first. Tonight we are having Thai lettuce wraps. We love a good lettuce wrap, and there's nothing better than a cool lettuce wrap for a summertime meal. So let's do it. I've got a large skillet here heated to about medium high. We've got some sesame oil. We need about a tablespoon of this, so I'm gonna add that in. And to that, we're gonna add some diced onion. You need about 1/4 cup of diced onion. So we're just gonna let these cook in the sesame oil for 2 to 3 minutes, just until they get kind of soft and translucent. And then we'll move on. It's been a couple of minutes. They're pretty soft. We're gonna add in some minced garlic. You need a couple of cloves. And then we also need some ginger paste. We're gonna do about a tablespoon of this. And we're just gonna cook this together for another minute or so. Okay, now we're gonna add in our ground chicken. I've got a pound. I think the recipe called for 10 ounces. We're going with a whole pound. I got 2 hungry guys in this house. So we're just gonna cook this until it's no longer pink. It's all cooked through, but I'm gonna break it up as I go. As this is cooking, I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt. I say a little bit because we're gonna be using soy sauce in just a second. And then you can also add just regular pepper, but we happen to have some white pepper on hand, and that's great in Asian dishes. So let's sprinkle a little of that in there too. Let's make our chili sauce. I'm gonna add in about 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce. And you know what? I'm gonna add a little bit more because we're using more chicken than the recipe calls for. So I'm gonna add in maybe another tablespoon or so. Now we need some Thai sweet chili sauce. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna go with about 3. We need the juice of 1 lime. And I'm gonna add in a couple of tablespoons or couple of teaspoons of honey. The recipe calls for just 1 teaspoon. And I'm just gonna whisk all of that together just to combine it. Just to get this even finer, I grabbed my little mix and chop tool. I'm gonna come in and chop all of this up. You want it super fine when you're doing lettuce wraps. So I've got some cashews. I have about 1/4 cup, maybe 1/3 cup. I went ahead and chopped them. I'm gonna add these to our dish here, and then we're gonna add our sauce. We're gonna reduce the heat to about medium-low. We're gonna let this cook for a couple of minutes. And y'all know how we do. We like to heat things up a little bit. So we're gonna add just some red pepper flakes. You don't have to do this. This has been cooking for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna turn off the heat, and we're gonna remove it from the heat. We're gonna let it cool for just a minute before we add in our last little ingredients, and then it'll be time to make our lettuce wraps. It's been cooling for just a couple of minutes. We've got some shredded carrots. I shredded these earlier with my cheese grater. It works really well for carrots. You're gonna add in about 1/2 cup to, I don't know, 3/4 cup of carrots, about 1/4 cup of scallions, green onions, and we've got some chopped cilantro going in too. This is not quite 1/4 cup. I think it called for 1/4, but I didn't want quite that much. All right, let's stir that around. All of that is gonna give it great flavor, but also some great crunch. That carrot will have some good crunch to it too. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. We also have some sesame seeds, but we're gonna wait and put those on once we make our wraps.
It's time for some lettuce wraps. I've been craving these. Perfect thing for summer. Here we go. Oh, baby. Man, you nailed it.
Good.
That is what I've been craving.
Excellent.
Sweet, savory. It's got the definitely that Asian flavor. You know, that peanut flavor comes out. The soy sauce and everything just comes together. That ginger really just lifts it up. And of course, the garlic, the flavor that's in there, all of that's infused with all of those incredible Asian flavors. It's just amazing. The crunch of the lettuce and just freshness of it. You know, it doesn't feel heavy.
Yes, which is exactly what you want in the summer. So I'm so glad you love it. Oh. Cole says yes.
It's very bright. Very
I
bright.
like
Yeah,
that.
I love that.
That's a good way of
Very
describing.
good description.
Okay.
All right, we'll see what you think.
Okay, here we go. I got the smaller piece of lettuce, so I'm over here on the struggle bus a little bit.
Oh, wow. This is incredible. A little bit of spice in there. Isn't that great?
You agree with that? Also?
It is bright.
Very bright.
I forgot to get us some spoons.
Well, it's fine. I'll go get some.
It always makes a mess. You always have some left over on your plate.
How long did it take to make this?
About 15 minutes.
Wow.
That is amazing.
I love the little bit of spice that we got in there
Yes.
with the red pepper flake.
You know, it's you get a little bit of the carrot flavor, but man, all the other flavors are just so powerful. You know, they're so bold. You have the cashews now too, a little
Oh, yeah.
crunch, a little different texture in there as well.
It was just a tiny little spice. Real subtle.
Yeah.
15-minute dinner. Yes, you have to cook it on the stove, but it doesn't take long. You're done really quickly. And then you have a great, refreshing meal.
Now you could pair this with, if you wanted to steam some rice, you could throw some rice. I think these would go good with like the Mongolia noodles that we make.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really good.
Okay, that is Asian recipe number 1. We'll see you tomorrow for number 2 and 3. Tonight we have a couple more recipes for you that are Asian inspired that are perfect for the summer. We're gonna get started on one now. It is morning time and we're gonna let this marinate all day. This is an Asian marinade and we are going to be doing grilled chicken skewers. So I've got this large Ziploc bag held open by this little contraption. I love this thing. And I have some chicken thighs. I have already trimmed these and chopped these up into pieces so that they will go well on our skewers. And I'm just gonna pop all of these into our Ziploc bag. Okay, so I have a little more chicken than the recipe calls for, so I'm gonna be making a little more of the marinade. The recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce, so I'm gonna do about 1/3 cup. We need the juice of 1 lime. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, which is probably not quite the entire lime, but since we are making a little extra, I'm just gonna use the whole thing. We need a little more than a tablespoon of honey. I'm gonna be using ginger paste. We're gonna add in about a tablespoon of that. We also need about a tablespoon of garlic. Let's whisk this together. Trying to break up that honey a little bit. Then we're just gonna pour this over our chicken and it's gonna marinate. You wanna marinate it for at least an hour. Ours is gonna marinate all afternoon. All right, that's going in the fridge and I will see y'all a little bit later. We're back. I forgot an ingredient because that's what I do. Olive oil, we need a couple of tablespoons. So I'm just gonna squirt it in here and we're just gonna mix it around. It will be okay. At least I remembered it now, right? So let's just pour that in and mix it around. Now take 2, we're headed to the fridge again. The other recipe we're making tonight is an Asian cucumber salad. I wanna make this early as well so it has all time to kind of soak in all of the ingredients because I have a feeling it'll get better the longer it soaks. So let's do it. So if you have a mandolin, you can use that. I've got my cheese grater and it has this particular attachment. So we're gonna try and cut our cucumber using this because you want it really thinly sliced. That's exactly what I wanted. So we need toasted sesame seeds for this particular recipe. So I've got this really small pan and I'm gonna heat it to, it's heating to about medium right now. You're just gonna put your sesame seeds in. As it's dry, you need about a tablespoon of sesame seeds. And we're just going to lightly toast these. It's not gonna take long at all. I've got a Vidalia. How do you say that? Vidalia? Is it Vidalia or is it Vidalia? Anyway, I've got a sweet onion. We're gonna go with that. I need only about 1/4 of this, not a lot, but I'm gonna thinly slice this as well. A couple of them are starting to look a little toasted, so we're just gonna let these hang out for a couple more minutes. But let's go start assembling our salad. We've got our large cucumber that has been thinly sliced. That is so beautiful. I mean, you just can't get better than that. We're gonna add in our onion, just kind of breaking that apart as I go. We need about 1/3 cup of rice vinegar. We need some dill, but if it's dried, I need to just do like 1/2 teaspoon. If you've got fresh, that's great, but do about a tablespoon of fresh. But dried, just about 1/2 teaspoon. So that's probably about right there. Dried is so much more potent. You know what? Y'all tell me to do this all the time. It releases the flavors a little bit more if you do it that way. So there we go. We need about 3/4 teaspoon of salt. The recipe doesn't call for black pepper, but I'm going to do it just because I want to. You could also do crushed red pepper. I'm gonna leave that out today. I just want to taste this without the spice. We also need about 3/4 teaspoon of sugar. I'm still waiting on my sesame seeds, but I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this now. Okay, so these are a little toasty. We're gonna add them into the salad and just stir that around, and we're gonna stick this in the fridge and let it marinate all day. Okay, it is much later in the afternoon. Steven just went to go fire up the grill, and we're gonna start getting our skewers or our kebabs ready. I've got just a couple of bell peppers here, like 1/2 of them. I used 1/2 of them in another recipe. And I've got some onion. I'm gonna chop all of this up so we can add them to our skewers. So we've been soaking these skewers all day in water. Steven had that spoon on top of them to keep them down in the water, but they're nice and wet. They are soaked through. They are not going to catch on fire, which is the important thing.
All right, here we go. Pull it off the skewers here. Got a little ambitious.
They smell so good.
Yeah, they look delicious.
The good thing about using chicken thighs is that they're not going to dry out.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Ready.
Man. Oh, man. That marinade is delicious.
Oh, good.
Amazing. I mean, the flavors in that is incredible. It's got this sweet, savory, but then there's something that just kicks it up. I don't know what it is, but there's something that lifts these flavors up.
Good.
I can taste some garlic in there.
There's garlic, ginger.
Maybe that's the ginger that's doing
Ginger
it.
is the ginger. There's honey in there too, but yeah, the
Wow. And the smoky.
ginger. Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's just amazing.
Well, I'm so glad. All right, taste test of the Asian
Here we go.
cucumber salad.
Oh man, yeah. Refreshing. That's the flavor.
That is so good.
Refreshing flavor, the coolness of that cucumber on this extremely hot day.
Yeah, it's 98 degrees outside. So
Great seasonings
it's
on that.
very similar to a tomato cucumber salad that I've made before, but the rice vinegar gives it a little bit different flair. But it's still got the sweetness of the little touch of sugar in there. It's really good.
That is really good. It goes perfect with these kebabs.
That might be my new favorite
Is
marinade.
that not melt in your mouth?
Oh my goodness.
Melt in your mouth and then, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That is amazing. Super tender.
This is such a light meal. That chicken.
It's bite-sized pieces, so it didn't take long on the grill. You're probably looking at 10 to 12 minutes, depending on the thickness there. But obviously, you want to make sure it's at that 165 at least.
Right.
But that caramelization of the sauce, the marinade that's on there, it is amazing.
It is the perfect summer dinner. If you just can deal with the heat by the grill for a few minutes. But you're not out there long, so that's the good thing.
Yeah.
Man, we had lettuce wraps and now this. I mean, it's been a good week in our house.
Oh man, if you're entertaining and you want to impress. I mean, look, I can just cut that chicken right there with my fork.
So that's 3 Asian-inspired dishes that are great for the summertime. I would love to know if you try any of these. Let us know in the comments below which one you plan on trying first. We're done. We'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.